Hi friends, welcome to the YouTube channel of Life and More. Today we have with us ModMonk Anshul, a business psychologist, spiritual coach, mystic, and the founder of Soul School. Namaskar. She practices many alternative modalities like NLP, emotional freedom techniques, regression during sessions, and blends modern management and life to spiritual awakening. Hi Anshul, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Saurabh.
Hi. First of all, tell us about the name ModMonk. How did this come to you?
So it is a long story. I think about 5 years back, when a couple
Okay.
of medias were taking up my articles, and they were kind of doing some stories on me. And I was
Okay.
writing for some for an article in a newspaper, and they kind of read my
Mm.
stuff, and they said, "But you've been into spirituality for such a long time, and you want to really, practice monkful bliss, and we can see the
Mhm.
background that you come from. You spent a lot of years
Right.
abroad. You have, gotten a couple of masters, and you seem to be living a very vibrant, modern life. And what really
Okay.
strikes as a spiritual streak in you, why is, that's a very different combination to kind of have."
Mm.
And the lady was very kind to say, she said, "So you mean to say that you are a very modern monk?" I said, "Yeah, it's kind of
Okay.
like that, it's kind of a modern." And so then while she kind of put that article in the newspaper, and I think in 2015 is where she actually
Okay.
mentioned ModMonk Anshul.
Acha. Okay,
And
that's
I
interesting.
said,
Huh?
okay, I was I very gracefully took, and I said, very glad to, actually be given this beautiful name. I said, I'll carry that forward. It kind of sounded also right,
Okay.
because everybody kind of resonated with that. So
True, actually, right.
that is
So
why.
I was reading your profile and it said that you have transformed over like 10,000 people, including adults, children, and other age groups. So what problems do these people come with and they talk to you? And there is anything common in all these problems that they come to you with?
So when I say such a huge crowd, because I've been doing corporate workshops, I've been doing personal one-on-one
Hmm.
healing sessions, meditation sessions, as well as, children come at Soul School, which is a center,
Right.
which is a foundation center, and also I teach in MBA. I'm a visiting faculty. I
Hmm.
teach, so I kind of meet a lot of people, and
Okay.
it is not very surprising that the kind of problems that all genres of people come with are very similar. So they basically fall under three
Oh.
main categories. They will fall
Hmm.
under three main categories, and they will be either relationship. तो फिर वो शायद खुद के साथ हो, is it can be with yourself, it can be with somebody else, it can be with a situation, or it can be with a
Okay.
sibling or a parent, or anywhere across. So a relationship is one
Hmm.
aspect. Second
Okay.
aspect that everybody has a problem is about finances, stability, security.
Right.
So that is one
Right.
way that they come up. The third
Hmm.
wheel to everybody's life seems to be like a rickshaw driving. The third wheel seems to be health.
Acha.
So it's
Hmm.
about how you're healing yourself. So it can be physical pain. So I've had people with cysts and depression and schizophrenia, and
Okay.
I've had people
Mm-hmm.
coming to me for anxiety, for panic attacks, for
Okay.
suicidal thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people who come for like physical pain, literal physical pain, like पैर दुख रहा है, हाथ दुख रहा है, back is not really getting healed. So there are multiple
Mm-hmm.
areas within the healing spectrum that people come in for. So
Mm-hmm.
if you look at it from a holistic point of view, from like a bird's eye view, there
Hmm.
are three main categories where everybody
Okay.
falls in. But अगर उसके
Okay.
अंदर भी if you end up seeing exactly what is the major problem that people face
Part. Huh.
is
Hmm.
relationship.
Acha.
That
Okay.
is the biggest of and I'm not, when I say relationship, people usually think actually it's between a couple, or it's a husband and
Ha ha ha
wife,
ha. No,
or it's
it's
a
not like
boyfriend
that.
and a. It is not
Hmm.
like that. It is everywhere. It's across the spectrum of relationships.
Okay.
Kuch past hurt, they have grudges, they can't move on, and
Hmm.
because I do regression, right? So past, when we
Ha
look
ha.
into
Pass it. Hmm.
that, Yeah, so when we regress our memories and try
Hmm.
to see what's happening, they are issues from previous births. They are issues from when you were in the womb with
Hmm.
the mother. But again, they are
Okay.
related
Okay.
issues. Major trust
Hmm.
issues, self-worth issues. But again, they all come under the bracket of relationship.
Hmm. Okay.
So
So
yeah, major
majorly
is
you said
relationship.
major is relationships, and you said the first thing that you mentioned was your relation with yourself. So what is that yourself वाला portion? जैसे आप बोल रहे थे अभी कि it can happen in the womb also. Hard to believe otherwise, given the kind of ages that we live in with so much of advancement in sciences and everything. लोग बहुत मुश्किल से बिलीव करते हैं होता है बिल्कुल I believe in it but when you do it how easy or difficult is it to tell someone that आपका प्रॉब्लम है ये because no one is ready to believe कि ये मेरे अंदर कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है is it like that do people say that कि यार मेरे में क्या प्रॉब्लम है
No, it is the most difficult aspect to make people understand कि ये problem actually अपना खुद का है. It is not somebody else's.
Mhm.
And it is one of the difficult areas for people to accept, because acceptance doesn't happen. It doesn't happen
Yeah.
easily any which ways, because we
Mhm.
are built up in a way that we are trained to blame somebody else.
Right.
फिर अगर कोई नहीं मिला तो भगवान तो है ही. So
हाँ
अगर
ठीक
कोई
बात
नहीं मिला तो of course,
हम्म
so
true
you are trained to blame. So that is what
right
happens when we're looking for taking care of your self relationship with the self. Maximum
mm-hmm.
times the relationship with the self is the problem.
Okay.
We're not confident in saying about really the way I feel. We kind of filter
Mm-hmm.
the conversations in our head. Then the problem that we see in other people in terms of insecurity ho
Mm.
ya anger issues ho, those are
Right.
usually anybody that you see in terms of relationship, you are going to see a mirror in front of you. So you are
Mm-hmm.
basically seeing your own self. And the
Mm.
fact that you do not like that annoys the person in the psyche. And
Okay.
that is what triggers even more irritation. And when that triggers
Mm-hmm.
more irritation in a person's mind, you tend to become even more flared up. But
Right.
at the same
Mm.
time, you do not really accept, because you don't seem to see a problem in your issues or your behavior
Right.
or your
Right.
thinking pattern. Again,
Mm.
we are humans and we tend to think that we know the bestest of all. But that is not true. We do not want to unlayer. और अगर unlayer हम करते हैं ना, even our feelings को, if we start unlayering it with absolute
Mm.
honesty, it's like a can of worms, but it really shows a lot of wounds across and
Okay.
internal. So then it can bring up memories, it can bring up feelings that our mind has kind of shut off for of course a good reason, because you cannot handle it.
Right. Right.
And that is what the problem is. अगर वो नहीं देखा जाता है तो then people will start on, like I said, they blame them. They don't see the problem
Mm.
with themselves. And accepting yourself, loving yourself, seeing yourself the way you are, becoming, actually saying exactly how you feel in the nicest
Okay.
possible manner
Mm.
is one of the issues with, with multiple people in terms of building a relationship with self. खुद के लिए टाइम
Okay.
ही नहीं है. आप मुझे बोलिए सौरभ जी, I have
हाँ
asked
ठीक
so
बात है
many people that do you
Mm.
like spending time with yourself? किसी को
I
खुद के
agree.
साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं. Immediately pick up a phone, immediately let's switch channels, or they'll do something, or they can't have a
Yeah.
coffee with themselves, they can't go for a cinema with them. क्यों
Mm.
खुद के
True.
साथ you
I
cannot
agree.
spend time? I mean, there has
Right.
to be a
Right.
reason why that's not happening.
Mm-hmm. True, I agree. I agree. So a lot of people come with this problem. So when you do say past life regression, for example, right? How many lives do you actually go back, and any particular incident or any particular case that you remember and you would like to share with us, जो बहुत बहुत यूनिक टाइप का रहा हो.
Sure. काफी है वैसे यूनिक, तो every case is unique by
Every
itself.
case is a unique.
But
Yeah, I
when we
know.
are, yeah,
Mm.
so when you look at a particular past life regression, so it is not you as a healer or as a guide I don't decide where you have to go. Your mind, your
Okay.
subconscious, yourself will decide where you need to go.
Okay.
वो अपने want पे नहीं होता, आपकी जरूरत पे होता है. So if you are
Mm-hmm.
trying to sort a particular issue at the given moment, and it can take you to one previous lifetime, it can make you switch and flip between a couple of lifetimes. जहां जहां से आपको information मिलेगा current issue को resolve करने का, वहां वहां आपको ले जाएगा. But the process is tiring because you are
Right.
traveling, and
Yeah. Yeah.
space time continuum is not the same.
Mm.
Your mind is taking a toll on it. So
Okay.
while you are kind of jumping, what do you say, planes and timelines, your mind starts to get tired. So
Okay.
not so some people go to two lifetimes and then you can feel that they are getting tired, so we stop.
Okay. Okay.
And then you
So
can again start.
at that point,
Some
you
people, one of
restart,
the,
or I'm saying that at that
sorry.
point you stop. I'm saying that if at that point you stop, right? And then you restart from the beginning, or then you restart from where they left last time.
No. Then we just restart, and then your mind takes you back to wherever it needs to go.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. We don't decide where it stops and ends. So there was this one
Mm-hmm.
person. There was one person I was doing a regression for, and uh, she went about 5 lifetimes in the span of 2.5 hours.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
And she went through like about 5 lifetimes in 2.5 hours. Now, what
Okay.
happened there was she couldn't pick up much information from every, but she could only
Mm.
pick up from one. And
Acha. Okay.
we try to make sense of why did your mind, because mind will not, your
Mm.
subconscious will not do something out of no reason. So if it
Right.
has taken you there, it has to have a
Mm-hmm.
reason why you are there. जो आपके हाथ में इशू
Right.
है ना, उस इशू को छोड़ के जो आपके करंट लाइफ में, if you need something, you find it there.
Okay.
So you have,
Sounds
and the thing
interesting.
is with, so the thing with regression is it's like a dam. So yeah, when you have a dam, you pick up like one brick
Right.
out of the wall, and then you wait. Then you'll pick up another brick
Okay.
out of the wall. Then you'll wait for the water to. If you kind of break the entire dam in one go, the pura ka pura city or the gaon or the village will get
Right.
destroyed.
Right. 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 Get your
Similarly
point.
with your mind. So if you take out the entire wall down in one go of your subconscious or your primitive memory, your mind is going
Right.
to collapse with so much of information.
Okay.
So it picks out one, lets it settle down, and slowly it naturally starts throwing one brick out, giving you random
Okay.
information from different places. फिर
Mm-hmm.
आपको वो consciously हो या नींद में हो या dreams में हो, but it will start giving you more information.
अच्छा. Okay. So ऐसा भी होता है कि when you going back in your past life, do you have difficulties getting back, or is it like click of that you snap and you're back? It's like that. How does it happen?
You don't. It is not really difficult to come back to physical state, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when people usually people who are mentally far more weaker, they tend to
Mm-hmm.
get uh, drawn and they get into the whirlpool of thinking कि अच्छा फिर क्या हुआ
Right.
होगा, फिर मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ. But इसके लिए वो
Mm.
guide needs to be very correct. So
अच्छा.
the person
Okay.
who is, lot of people do regression, but the regression
Mm-hmm.
सिर्फ आपको ले जाने के लिए नहीं है. It is a healing process.
Uh-huh.
सो एक डॉक्टर के जैसे आपको प्रोसेस को, आप जख्म को खोलो, उसको ठीक करो, wrap it up correctly, so when the person is out of the OT, he does not feel
Mm-hmm.
the pain.
Right.
That
Right.
is very important when you do a regression.
Mm. So, but when you have when you know so many therapies and you are equipped with so many powers, how do you decide when someone comes? Say, for example, I come and I say, yeah, I have a problem. Say, I have pain in my legs, for example. So how do you decide कि मुझे ये वाला थेरेपी लगाना है सौरभ के ऊपर, या इस ये वाला थेरेपी यूज करना है, any X or Y? How do you do that? See, for example, I go to a physician and he gives me medicine. ये 4 गोली खा लेना. With when you know so many things together, which stream you have to choose? How do you do that?
Correct. So this is a question many times many people ask me, and I usually say that because the platter is so big, there are like so many healing modalities that I use. There is regression, there is psychology, there is a lot of stuff that can be used while when a person comes. But being extremely with God's grace, connected to the divine, I do not choose. It is
Okay.
the therapy that chooses the person with me.
Okay.
I don't choose. And even when I'm doing the therapy, randomly alag alag cheeze aati. That's why I never say that I will heal you with EFT or I'll heal you with pranic or I'll heal
Okay.
you with Reiki or I'll heal you with regression. I clearly say I will heal you. I will try because I'm a medium. But how it will happen, it's not my concern. It's the
Not
divine's
right.
concern. So
Okay.
I will mix match
Okay.
whatever comes for you. So many times there is a channeled message. Many times there are solutions. Many times एक ही session में there will be regression. There will be
Acha.
healing. I use
Multiple things.
EFT within the regression.
Okay.
I will use sound healing within a regression. Sometimes I'll do meditation with sound healing. So it's a mixed match of things.
Okay. So in these times of pandemic, obviously the physical thing would have reduced a lot. So do online things also, therapies also, or no? One has to be there
Yes, I
in
do
person with
online.
you. Hmm.
No, I do online sessions. So Zoom has kind of
Okay.
really helped a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
So we do a lot of online sessions in terms of meditation sessions here, yeah, workshops that we have been doing in mindfulness workshops or chakra
Okay.
healing workshops or even leadership. Even my classes are online. Leadership,
Okay.
communication. These classes are also online. So we are doing a lot of online sessions. Even
Okay.
one-on-one counseling. So spiritual guidance is also happening online. It is, of course,
Okay.
not the same feel because when
Ah,
you
right.
meet somebody,
True.
there is energy.
Right.
But something is better than absolutely nothing, and it is helping people.
True.
And in a way, it is good because I always had people come from across the country to Pune.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people come from Karnataka, I have people come from Tamil Nadu. They're very kind, they come all
Okay.
the way. But this is really helpful because then you just really log in
Yeah,
and you can see
you
me and I can see
know. Right.
and it's
True.
easier. So even tarot sessions, spiritual tarot guidances or channeled messages
Okay.
online हो जाता
सब हो जाता है. Okay. Okay.
हो
So
जाता है.
you are basically
Not the
an
same, but हो जाता
right? पर हो जाता है. हाँ ठीक बात है. So you basically let's see in business psychology, right? You've done your PG in advertising. You're a chartered marketer who has worked with MNCs across the world. So when and how did this urge to do and discover this real essence of life happen to you?
when I
कब
was
हुआ ये?
11 years old.
Oh, that back.
That early.
That
So
early.
yeah, so when I was about 11, 12 is when I started that streak. Oh, genetically bhi hai. I think my mom's side
अच्छा.
is into spiritual, uh, learning about self.
Okay. Okay.
So when I was about 11, I started to, understand, get messages, get connected. My first healing happened when I was about 12 years old.
Oh.
Um, for some reason, I kind of, एक stone था and उस पे, you really prayed something and I gave it to a friend of mine who was feeling very well. And she
Okay.
got well. And that time I realized it's all about praying. So it's about energy, it's
Uh-huh.
about vibration. And I started to read about it. The more I read about it, it felt like I'm already doing it.
Okay.
And there was a space, there was a time gap in between about 7, 8 years where I did not take that up very seriously in terms of healing and spirituality. But I always was inclined towards that. And
Okay.
in 2010, 7 and between 7 to 10 is where I decided that I really want to pursue this. And I started to read
Okay.
a lot. The more I read, the more I felt like I've already been doing this for a long time.
Oh, acha.
And
Okay.
that is when I started to learn healing modalities like certifications जो जरूरी है.
Right.
Uh, because of course, you're in the world that you are in. People will not say that I know and I can help you. There's a certificate है क्या?
Right.
So that was my thing. And I said, let's do this and check it out. And the more I started to kind of, get certified, like for example, like
Right.
it felt like I've been doing this ever since I was 11.
Okay.
So मुझे कुछ ऐसा, so then I, of course, it is a divine gift that a person has, and
Right. That's, I
regression
agree.
maybe it is a divine gift, and you have to treat it like that. Then
Right.
of course, for realize that multiple lifetimes I've been doing the same thing, so I think it comes very innate.
Okay. Okay.
So it's there, and I think 27 years now that I've been in the journey, consciously in the
Okay.
journey.
Consciously. So, but simultaneously, ये सब चलता रहा, business psychology भी चलता रहा, advertising भी चलता रहा, MNCs भी चलते रहे. All this happened simultaneously.
It does. It did happen simultaneously. I come from a Marwadi elite business family, and
Okay.
so it's like a business administration karo, then aap fir pad lo, then you have to like settle down.
Uh,
All of those things is there,
yeah.
and uske chalte, and I wanted to. So I knew I wanted to learn and live in London for a while. After I get a little older, when I was about 5 years old, I had decided it then already.
Acha. Okay.
So I knew where I wanted to go. So I think about after my graduation, I studied, and even there I used to do healing.
Acha.
But
Okay.
it wasn't professional. It wasn't. It जिसको जरूरत पड़ी
Hmm.
उसको,
Uh,
and जिसको लगा उसको, या फिर you don't really do it. The person
you don't.
does not need to do it. For example, if I see somebody, that person doesn't need to do. I'm trying to help him. It's none of his concern, none of mine. If I have the
Right.
energy and I'm supposed to give it to him, it's the divine who's giving. I'm just the medium. So just give it like
Right.
that, guys. So
Okay.
wo hota tha. And then I came back, and I think I liked studying. So, and I liked advertising. I'm an artist that way. So I kind of enjoyed that. And
Okay.
in between, I did cross culture media. I did photography in
Acha.
bits and pieces. I did drama, art. So there are multiple areas that I kind of ventured into, having this as my base always back of my mind. Um, I wanted to do psychology for reason that I wanted to understand the lot of Vedic scriptures. Our scriptures speak about how our mind works. Your
Right.
spirituality is all about kind of seizing your mind. Your
Okay.
mind needs to stop existing for you to become self. But if you
Hmm.
want to see somebody, you need to figure out how it works.
Yeah. Exactly. True. True.
So that came into place. And then after I did that, I said, okay, let's mix the two things because that is important. SI bolke to let the mind seize, you really cannot really
You
help
can't.
people. You need to know how it works in the first place. तो ही उसको आप चुप कर सकते हो.
Okay. Okay. So, and then the business psychology part. How did the business psychology happen? What is so different in business psychology?
So it is about people at it's in all honesty, it is not as much different because at the end of the day, people are people.
Okay.
आप कोई भी spectrum में जाओ, white, yellow, green, purple, orange, brown, they're all people at the end of the day, right?
Right.
So, and when you add business to it, it's just talking about how a person works in a business environment, in a corporate environment, how their mind functions, what and where they make decisions,
Okay.
how it kind of really changes, and how you can use that to get the best decisions, or for the HR, for the people working in your corporates, and try
Mm-hmm.
to understand their side. वो भी
Okay.
करते हुए ये चीज बहुत साफ तरीके से समझ में आ जाता है दैट हेलो
I'm there. I'm there. Don't worry.
सो वो भी एक चीज करते हुए कि क्लियरली समझ में आता है दैट many times people say no कि when you're in the business setup or when you're in the work setup आप leave your personal life behind, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and that is an absolute myth. It cannot happen because you cannot leave
Right.
yourself anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot go back home leaving your work. You cannot come to work leaving your personal self. So
Right.
वो चीज possibly नहीं है. And when you understand that, you will realize that whatever decisions you make as a team or a manager or at a corporate level, you will still have your personal biases. You will still have your personal choices. You will still have your traditions and cultures. You will still have the way of thinking. So your psychology, your thinking process, how your mind functions, will still continue in your corporate decision
Okay.
makings.
Okay.
So it's not really completely drifted. It's not like two different streams. They merge after a given point of time.
Okay. And tell us about Searchlight. What is Searchlight?
Searchlight is the parent company of Soul School.
Okay.
So Soul School is basically. So I'll speak about Soul School because that is
Yeah,
the.
let's know about Soul School first. Yeah.
So, Searchlight is just the parent company, which just the main brand is Soul School. Soul School is a foundation. It's a center in
Okay.
Pune. So it's a small center where we do one-on-one sessions. It's a place where people come for spiritual development, and
Okay.
everybody is welcome. So I've got like a smallest one who comes for regular full moon meditation. I think he's around 5.5, and he
Oh
loves to.
God, that's so small.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's absolutely lovely, and he hardly keeps his eyes closed during the meditation, but he likes to sit. So as long as he's sitting, I'm all right with it. So people who come there are specifically for spiritual development, personal understanding, self-awareness, questioning
Okay.
about why, what, who you are. We have a
Mhm.
lot of group sessions there, group healing sessions, फिर sound healing हो या chakra healing हो या thought awareness programs हो, blueprinting ho, karmic cleansing ho, all of these things we look at. And of course, I do one-on-one counselings also there in terms of healing,
Okay.
regression, tarot, or personality. Or some people come even for professional counseling for one-on-one. So they
Okay.
come for
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. So this is based out of Pune, you said, right?
Yes, it's based out of Pune. It's a
Hmm.
center. It's a physical place. Hopefully, where more people will come and question
So
themselves.
any plans to open more such centers and get this benefit to more people across the country?
I would love to. I would love to open many more centers across the country. But the main aspect or the main aim has to be for people to come and question, and
That's
not
right. Yeah.
question themselves. They have to question why, what, how, etc. But
Hmm.
hopefully, maybe before I leave the body, there will be a couple of more centers across the country trying
God.
to
God.
help themselves.
Yeah. And I was reading through your profile. I also found that psychometric personality analysis very interesting. What exactly is that?
So, psychometric tests are usually to understand how your mind is, how your personality and your mind functions together with the psyche. So, let's say, for
Okay.
example, when you have different kinds of colors or different kinds of aspects in your personality. So what we are
Hmm.
trying to do in that testing is trying to check which flavor. Let's in a layman word, which flavor of personality you have more. Are you more aggressive? Are you more timid? Are you more people's
Okay.
person? Are you more as a vibrant big picture thinker? Are you more
Hmm.
innovative? And so in this thing we are not putting you in boxes. What we're trying to say is that अच्छा आपके पास एक कलर पैलेट है और उस कलर
Okay.
पैलेट में सारे कलर्स हैं. ऐसा नहीं कि मुझे ग्रीन ही
Hmm.
पसंद है, मुझे ब्लू ही पसंद है. So similarly,
Hmm.
उस color palette of your personality, you have all colors. So and
Okay.
probably you can probably be aggressive at one point, and you can probably be very loving at the other point. And you
Yeah,
you
true. I
also
agree.
you also have the trait of creativity. Maybe you
Hmm.
may not show it as much. Some people have the traits of extremely well drafted emails, or their entire
Uh-huh.
house is like spick and span. It's like all folders and it's got like tabs on it, everything.
Right.
Or so it shows which area. So we fall with those four basic colors: red, blue, green, and yellow, and then we mix shades. So purple है,
Okay.
थोड़ा सा orange है, जिसमें थोड़ा सा vibrant thinking भी है और
Hmm.
थोड़ा aggressiveness भी है. But उसमें होता
Okay.
ये है कि we're trying to see what is the splash, which percent is our more,
Acha.
and
Okay.
which percent we need to reduce or increase. So
Acha,
for
that's what
example,
you advise.
so
Okay.
for example, and it helps you at work, it helps you in your personal life. So when
Okay.
you're trying to understand that psychometric, it's basically a test to understand your psyche. It's as simple as that. Psyche is your mind, how you function, what your
Right.
personality is. So
Okay.
if when you realize कि अच्छा मुझ में ये शायद blue कम है, blue is usually for being very observant, for being very detail oriented. अगर वो
Okay.
कम है तो मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ या क्या कर सकता हूँ इसको बढ़ाने के लिए.
Okay. Get it.
And with our personalities, there are three kinds. No? So one, you and me are talking, which is like a daily personality, right? Then I can have an overextended personality, which is when you really drive me to the wall, and sometimes the loudest of the people become quiet, and sometimes the quietest of the people
Actually,
blurt out a lot of stuff. So एक overextended personality है, और एक
right.
underlying है, वो सिर्फ मेरे लिए.
अच्छा, हाँ, राइट.
या जो आपके लिए है, तो उन चीजों को, उन तीनों डिमेंशंस को आप हमें देखना है. और हमारे सिचुएशन में, एवरी सिचुएशन वी डिमांड, लेट्स से इफ आई एम अ वेरी वेरी क्रिएटिव पर्सन, creative people usually have a lesser streak to go detail.
अच्छा, it's very contradictory on the.
Of course, it's उल्टा नो, तो बहुत क्रिएटिव है ना, छोटा छोटा में ध्यान नहीं जाता.
Right.
When I am doing something as a detailed work and I know my testing has, or my personality or my psyche is very, उसमें थोड़ा कम है, तो I will put more attention while doing the detail, so I can improve.
Right.
दूसरी चीज, when you're doing it in teams, so for example, team में हर किस्म के लोग होते हैं, there are different kinds of people, personalities.
Right.
We need to have all kind of shades. So one person can do the creative, one person can be the detailed, one person can really push other people to do the work, and one we need who can really blend the entire team together.
Right.
So we have all of these shades in us also, and we need to figure out which shade we need to tweak while I'm talking to somebody opposite to me.
Right. Okay.
So I'm trying to read you as what shade you might be, what kind of thought processes you might be, if I really want to build a rapport with you, and so on. So that's basically testing your psyche, and then not just testing, but making the use of it to become self-aware and get better teams and get relationships.
So this is all done verbally, or are there like certain forms also there, and there are written or online?
There are forms. Usually I do it in the workshop setting. There are forms जिससे आपको booklets मिल सकता है, but I tend to say no to those.
Okay.
What happens with those forms is you basically tick mark. There are many more. MBTI है, Big Oceans 5 है. There are many psychometric tests. So what you do is you tick mark on a form, and the computer generates information for you.
But that's
right. So I tend to go, I don't believe that somebody else can tell you exactly what you are unless you really want that. So I usually run questions in a workshop where a person is really drawing their own thinking, और उसमें दो चीज होता है, the person starts questioning. My whole point is wanting people to question themselves.
Right.
So that one of my goals really gets resolved there, because they really start discovering things about themselves.
Okay.
So that helps. So I do check marks and questions, but I prefer them answering and them questioning than actually the computer questioning. But we do have physical setup of doing it, like questions, cards, games, etc.
Okay. So before we wind up, Anshul, any message that you would want for our audience? You would like to share something, especially for them?
I mean, I would just say one thing which is important is please believe in yourself. One. Secondly, it's contradictory, but just understand the thin line here. Break all belief systems. When we have belief systems, we are attached. When you're attached, you have an anchor. When you have an anchor, you have a thought process. And when you have a thought process, you are not free. And when you're not free, you're not yourself. So try to break those belief systems. जो भी मैं question करूँ, really try to uncover yourselves. Build a spiritual connect with yourself, so much so that you question yourself to a point where no question remains and you don't remain either. So it's kind of a nice blend. So try to
Okay.
blend your modern life with spiritual life. Please try to be the mod monk for yourselves.
Okay. Thank you. That's interesting. Thank you. Thanks a lot, ModMonk Anshul, for being a part of this
Thank
show.
you so
Thanks a
much
lot.
for having me. Thank
Namaskar.
you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks for that.